Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to round number 9 of the Skypoynt Oval League's Truck Series. Joining me tonight in the commentary booth is Paul. How are you going tonight, Paul?
Doing good, Ryan, and thanks everyone at home tuning in tonight and joining us for round 9.
Yeah, and welcome to round 9. We are here for the Skypoynt Triple Crown here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. This had opened July 31st, 1960, and it's held NASCAR since then, and we have it here tonight. Just over a mile and a half makes up Atlanta Motor Speedway and just recently resurfaced. We consider this a part of the super speedways. But we head across to the drivers' lineup for tonight's race. Darren McKenzie from Southern Stars, he kicks it off pole with his teammate Tom Pritchard lining up behind him from Skypoynt. Andy J. Barber in third position with his teammate Aiden Schulz. He's in fourth position. Andrew Dyson in fifth for Simbriggs.com DPR with his teammate Stevie Williams starting next to him in P6. Henry Fenton, Noddy Tompkins, that's your fourth row with Riley Curtis and Dave Douglas. He's making up your top 10. Dave Douglas, last championship winner, supporting the number 1. Will Jesberg in P11 with Daniel Stevens in P12. Nigel Patton and Maxi Marshall, that's 13th and 14th. Trent Gosley, Steve Hoppett, Gary Wellman, Christopher Finlay, Todd Maxfield, Troy Mortensen, that's your top 20 with Luke Kenny in 21st. Christopher Tomlin in 22nd. Nigel Seidel in 23rd. And Aaron Dillon in 24th. Glenn Claren, he's in 25th, and ending your 26th car grid is Jason Holdsworth from Nitro. Should be a good one here tonight. Atlanta Motor Speedway. This is the second round of Atlanta that we have had this season, and this is a part of the Skypoynt Royal Triple Crown, and that's something to look out for. Crown leader at the moment, not too sure who that is, but it was last checked to be Tom Pritchard. Tom Pritchard, your championship leader, and he's starting out of the second position, so he's doing really well for himself. The pace truck is dropping below the red line and pulling into the pits. Restart zone is active. Darren McKenzie is your pole sitter for this one. Let's get ready for them to go green, and they're green. Barney waving the green flag for 130 laps here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Everyone getting off to a clean start. We see 2 rows forming so far. Tyre wear becoming a bit more of a factor in this one. We just came straight off Daytona Motor Speedway, where we did see a Southern Stars 1, 2, 3, 4. So that was pretty cool to see also. But Southern Stars locking out that top 4 of last race and taking the 1, 2, 3, 4. Darren McKenzie from Southern Star is here. And we have our first caution of the night. Big accident. We see the number 7 there of Maxi Marshall pretty beaten up. And we see a couple cars there scattered around. That's a big one. And we've only just creeped onto lap number 2. So that's definitely going to throw something in the works here. No fast repairs for the Skypoynt NASCAR Truck Series. So that's definitely going to bring something in. But we will have a replay coming in very shortly, but that's a very damaged number 7 of Maxi Marshall, who looks like he's crab crawling and pulling off to possibly tow to the pit lanes. Have a look at the Skypoynt replay and see what happened. The Aiden Schulz, he's up in the wall there, and looks like he's just got himself into a bit of trouble. That's the number 18. The number 119 of No Tompkins, and then that just causes quite a large accident there. We see 1, 2, 3 cars also caught up in that one, so that's unfortunate. And Maxi Marshall, he's getting quite a beating in this one. I can see him on the bottom right, on the right-hand side, number 7. He's been hit at least 3 times. Troy Mortensen, he's also involved in that one, so that's unfortunate to see. That's now caused Nigel Seidel, Noah Tompkins, and Aaron Dillon. Looks like all 3 of those guys are going a lap down, and we see a big incident into the pit lane too. So that would have scared the pit crew as well. But we'll head back over to the live feed where we are under safety car for the first time tonight. and we're here on lap number 2. But we'll drag the number 52 of Aiden Schulz into the broadcast booth. How you going, Aiden?
Yeah, good, mate.
Looks like a bit of an incident just occurred for the first caution. What do you think happened there?
Just, to be honest, man, I'd just like to be left alone and concentrate at the moment because, that was a silly mistake, and I feel sorry for the people that I caught up in behind, and we'll get on, we'll keep racing, but just pushed a bit high there and tried to keep it up on the outside, and Noddy had a good qualifying and everything, and I feel like crap at the moment, so I'd just like to be able to put my head down and race.
No worries, mate. Good luck for the remainder of the race.
Thanks, mate.
There we go. The number 52 of Aiden Schulz just been a bit quiet with that incident there. Just hearing briefly from him, looks like he just tried to stay high, and unfortunately I don't think Noddy Tompkins wasn't too sure what was going to happen there, and there's a incident. Viewing after the race on the Skypoynt the Skypoynt League's Facebook page, so you'll be able to check that out after the race, and we'll see what calls being made there. But we're looking back up the front here now in 4th position, getting promoted up 3 positions is Henry Fenton. So he joins the second row. He's next to Tom Pritchard. The front row, Darren McKenzie, Andy Barber. Andy's moved up 1 position. We do have a couple of cars that have gained a few positions too. The most notable I've seen so far is Jason Holsworth. He's in 14th. He's up 12 positions, and I'm pretty sure he started from the rear of the grid. But looks like we have a few cars that have been eliminated out of this one, and that's a bit unfortunate to see that. But we get along with it. We truck on, as we say, here at the Skypoynt NASCAR Truck Series, and we are in Season 3, so this was going to be one to look out for. Round number 9, and this is now part of the Triple Crown Atlanta Motor Speedway. Getting ready to go green. The pace car pulls down. Andy Barber, Darren McKenzie, that's your front row. Let's see how they're going to get off for the second time here tonight. Darren McKenzie, restart zone is in play here tonight, and he gets off well. Tom Pritchard just dropping below, and looks like he's just going to try and make an overtake on Andy Barber, who sits back a little bit. Andy Barber, Riley Curtis side by side, Henry Fenton, Dave Douglas is side by side. We're seeing quite a few cars getting around each other now. We have Darren McKenzie, Tom Pritchard, Riley Curtis down the bottom there. They're single file. And we have Andy Barber, the number 5 Southern Skypoynt entry. He's just trying to maintain the top line and just try and keep the momentum going. We're lap 5 out of 130. We've had our first caution so far, and it looks like it's been a good one so far, Paul.
Probably not the start Aiden wanted there, and it's not a. You always feel for all the trucks that you are involved in a caution and that, so it's not anyone's intention to go out and wreck anyone. So got a feel for those drivers early on in this race, but hopefully we can see them get a bit of damage fixed and get back out there and turn some laps and get some more points for their championship.
Yeah, that's right. We do see Aiden Schulz. He's in 14th position. He's down 10 from where he started, just getting involved in that caution. We'll need to have a look at it again to see what really happened, but we're not at the moment. We're having a look at the front there. Quite a small pack at the moment, and that's everyone so far. Just staying nice and clean, double file. You can see the bottom line seems to be the priority at the moment. Everyone's really just trying to stay down the bottom there, just try and take the short line through. And we have a couple cars up the top being led by Andy Barber, so we'll see how that starts to perform too. Tyre life is a big thing in this one here at Atlanta. We have 2 extra sets than we had at Daytona last round. We have 3 sets rather than 1 set of tyres over the wall. So that's going to come into play as well. 75% fuel, and we won't really get a fuel reading until later on in the broadcast, because when I had a check of how long it will last, not even the drivers knew. So that's going to be an interesting thing to watch. But it looks like the top line started to really start to push Andy Barber. Now in 5th position, he's behind his teammate of Darren McKenzie in front of his Skypoynt teammate of Tom Pritchard. So it looks like Skypoynt, Southern Stars down the bottom there, they're starting to work together. And then Aiden now in 12th position, so he's going to be one to look out for. Last championship was won by Dave Douglas. He's sitting in 7th, and then the championship before that was Aiden. So he has won a championship here before by Skypoynt. He knows how to operate one of the NASCAR trucks. He knows how to operate them quick. So he's definitely going to be one to look out for. Keep an eye on Aiden, because no doubt he's going to start to push forward. But lap 10 out of 130, we're only just starting to get into it. We've had one caution so far, and we're looking at the front of Andy Barber here. No, this is Darren McKenzie that's just dealing with a little bit of lap traffic. He's now passing Troy Mortensen, being involved in the first caution, and it looks like that was Luke Kenny that he just got past. Either Luke Kenny or Christopher Tomlin. And just really seeing the pace difference between them as truck and one of the lead cars that are unscathed. But looks like the pace is running pretty nice so far. We're lap 11 out of 130. The laps are coming down quick, and the green flag running. Oh, bit of Henry Fenson coming down to get into the bottom line, just starting to push through, and got a little bit close there, but no caution, no wreck so far, and that's pretty good. But you can see quite a few cars just really trying to run the high line. We see Andrew Dyson there, he's sitting bottom, and then he does have Henry Fenson there in 8th position. He is starting to push and try and push up to the front too, but we can really see that the bottom line is what everyone's choosing to do. That's everyone's preference, to stay down on the bottom line, just try and hug the red line down underneath, and then just try and get the shortest time, well, the shortest distance that they can. But eventually later in the run, we will start to see that the top line becomes predominant, or the guys that have run the top line will have better tyre life. But Paul, have you run at Atlanta before?
I have not run on this new layout, so Atlanta's got a new updated layout here, and it's first time running it tonight, so yeah, it's definitely a lot faster than it used to be.
Yeah, definitely, and they had the whole resurface and the whole remodeling and everything like that, and now we have it in real life. Well, not in real life. The real life track is now in iRacing with the new update, so that's awesome to see. iRacing doing an amazing job. If you do want to jump into the Skypoynt NASCAR Truck Series, you can just check out skypointracing.com, buy your entry ticket, and you're in for the series. So if you're looking at getting into a league where we can see some good racing like this, then feel free to jump in. Round sponsor, league sponsor Skypoynt, if you want to check that out also, that's at skypoint.com, and they can help you out as well. But Darren McKenzie doing an awesome job at the front. Andy Barber, Tom Pritchard, they're just sitting back a little bit, and they're coming past some lap traffic to the lead pack, passing Luke Kenny, who's just stayed high for everyone, so that's very respectful to see. Dave Douglas, he came underneath the red line just to stay a little bit safe, and then came back up, so he's done a good job at there, so keep an eye on Dave Douglas as well. Looking back at Aiden Schultz, he's now in 11th, so he's doing a good job. You can start to see him starting to push forward, and he's doing a good job there as well. But we haven't got on board with anyone so far for a couple of laps, but why don't we jump on board with Tom Pritchard? He's pushing his teammate Andy Barber, and we'll see how the Skypoynt cars really start to navigate Atlanta Motor Speedway. Looking at the front bonnet of Tom Pritchard there, he's running the high line. We can see his teammate, Andy Barber, he's down in the bottom line. Darren McKenzie's leading the motor race, so Andy's starting to push with him. But we can see Tom, he's running the high line, high to middle line, so he's saving on those tyres, really banking on those tyres and really keeping the momentum up through the corner, doing a good job with that. But the Skypoynt boys and Southern Star guys are always ones to look out for. I'm always talking about people to look out for, and it's a bit hard to tell when everyone's so close in the competition, so extreme. Anyone can win this one. There's so many different prizes that everyone can win here too, so everyone is in contention of winning something, and everyone's here to have a great time. Everyone that races here loves to jump in Discord with each other and have a chat and have a laugh, so it's really nice to see a bunch of mates jumping in, having a go, and having a good time here. But nevertheless, we do promote some nice clean racing here, and this is what we have with the Skypoynt NASCAR Truck Series. Darren McKenzie, Andy Barber still leading. They're 1-2, Southern Stars 1-2-3. If you count the Skypoynt and the Southern Stars guys as one team, of course they are one team, just the Skypoint guys are a sister team to the Southern Star guys. But Riley Curtis starting to make a move up here. He's sitting in 4th, Henry Fenson in 5th, Dave Douglas now dropping down into 6th and 7th, Daniel Stevens, Stephen Williams. How crazy is that? Last name Stevens, first name Stephen, there 7th and 8th. Trent Gosley in 9th, Aiden Schulz now up to 10th, so he's starting to push up too. Keeping an eye on him, he's doing a great job after recovering from the early caution. Lap 20 out of 130. Paul, is there anything that you've noticed so far?
Not really. I think everyone's just trying to maybe keep a little bit of tyre there. I think maybe the rear might get a little bit loose as the tyre wear goes on, and definitely going to have to watch that pit lane entry, because coming off the track onto the straight of the pit lane, it can get quite a little bit loose there. And you see Wellman in the background there, just getting a little bit sideways off the track, but he managed to hold on to that, so did a good job to keep that going.
Yeah, and you did turn a couple laps in practice, I'm pretty sure, so how did that feel?
Well, I can't give too much away. I did get my hands on a qualifying setup from a team, and it was very fast as well. So yeah, that's probably why we saw that team locking out the first 2 rows on the grid tonight.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure everyone knows what team you're talking about, but looks like you got some pretty cool laps out, and you had a blast. But Atlanta, is this the track that you think that you'd like to run on, possibly in the iRacing officials or anything like that? Is this the track that you would come back to?
Yeah, definitely. I quite enjoyed the old Atlanta. I actually found it quite challenging at times, and sort of struggled with outright pace on the old Atlanta track in the early sort of stages of a race, but going towards the mid to end stage of a race, I'd always find the pace there. But this new layout's quite like a super speedway, so it's definitely a fast circuit now, and definitely love to have a crack around here as well in a race. So be looking forward to next year's season and seeing what happens when we run at Atlanta. But we've just gone to a caution there, Ryan, so we'll skip back to the Skypoynt replay and we'll see what happened there.
There we go. Second caution of the night here at the Skypoynt NASCAR Truck Series. And we're rolling over to the replay now. Let's see what happened. We do have the number 57 there of Daniel Stevens, and that looks like one of the inside lane cars. Not too sure who that is. We'll see in a sec. Looks like that's Chris Tomlin. Daniel Stevens, he backs up hard in the barrier, and that's a pretty big impact. He won't be happy with that, and that will be disappointing. On top of the damage that he already had in that one, we'll just check that out again and see what happened, because we did kind of miss that a little bit. A couple cars coming into the pit lane now. We have Darren McKenzie, the race leader, coming into the pit lane. And then we'll see if the cars jump onto the jacks, but we will check back that replay again, see what happened there while these cars transit the pit lane. Looks like the top 4 guys are taking their tyres, so we'll see what happened there. But we have Christopher Tomlin down the bottom here. We have Daniel Stevens That's your number 57 there, Chris Tomlin, down the bottom. Looks like he's just trying to come back up onto the racetrack. Just hits the side of Daniel Stevens, and that just sends Daniel sideways. And look at that big impact in the barrier. And he'll be pretty disappointed in that one. But doesn't look like it might be. It doesn't look like it would be too bad. But that's not how he wanted his night to go. But looking up further up into the front there, if I'm correct, yes, Trent Gosley, his teammate, he is currently the race leader. Having a couple lapped cars in front of him. Looks like he must have not take tyres during the stop. Not too sure, yes. So, Darren McKenzie and Tom Pritchard, them three, their pit stop time was 14.6 seconds, 14.8, 14.67. So, in the 14.5 average, I would say. And Trent Gosley, 8.9 seconds. So, there's a pretty significant difference in the pit stop time. And that's handed Trent the effective race lead. And now he has the race lead now, just sitting behind the safety car. Here's Darren McKenzie, Andy Barber, Tom Pritchard, Nigel Patton, Andrew Dyson, Riley Curtis, Dave Douglas, Gary Wellman, and Stephen Williams. That's your top 10. And Trent Gosley up 14 positions. Keep an eye out on that. Keep an eye on Trent, because if I do make a quick prediction now, and I don't want this to happen, but it looks like Trent made the wrong call, didn't take those tyres, tried to double stint, and when we go green, we'll be on lap 29 and 30, and may get swallowed up, so keep an eye out on that. See if he can keep the pace up for as long as he can.
Well, Ryan, generally speaking, super speedways, you don't need to tend to take tyres, so be interesting to see how the strategy pays out for Trent now.
Yeah, and the strategy is going to be a bit different too. And Atlanta, we call it a super speedway. You've just called it a super speedway. I call it a super speedway. Everyone calls it a super speedway. But you see, there's so much more banking in the corners. We can see the cars sitting right up on the bank and a bit tighter, bit smaller. I think a mile and a half. And I'm pretty sure this is the only mile and a half that I know of that's got a super speedway. But we'll see how Trent gets off the line here. Here's the race leader. He gets off well. Darren McKenzie in second place. And Trent started to get a bit of a lead back to Andy Barber, who's sitting down the bottom line there. Tom Pritchard, Darren McKenzie, Andy Barber. Those three will start to work together again. But Trent, on the warm tyres, has really started to push out in front. We have, that looks like Andrew Dyson up the front there. Nigel Patton, Dave Douglas, Stephen Williams, Riley Curtis, Toddy, Maxfield, and now we're going three wide. That's the Skypoynt sandwich, and Andrew Dyson gets past them now in third position. He's knocking on the back door of Trent Gosley, and he's going to try and start to make a move here as we head into turn one. He stays behind, staying patient. Here at Skypoynt, it's a patience game to get to the end of the race. You really just want to be nice and patient, get to the end, get to the last 20-odd laps. And that's what I said last broadcast as well, towards the back end of Daytona. You're here for the end game. You want to be here at the end. You want to be able to fight at the end. And Andrew Dyson looking like he has the pace, and he's starting to be a little bit patient with getting the lead off Trent Gosley. Now Darren McKenzie has the lead. The top line working well. We have Tom Pritchard there sitting behind Darren McKenzie, also separated from the Skypoynt car of Andy Barber. Now it's two team cars running together. We have a car down the bottom that looks like Daniel Stevens just getting out the way for the lapped cars.
You got Stephen Williams coming around the outside here as well, so he's going to get a good run. He might look at Dyson popping out to get in front of him there, maybe, and get the push to try and get around the outside, on the inside line there. But at the moment, he's just sort of sitting in behind Trent Gosley there. Yeah,
that's right. And Andrew being nice and patient too. We have Andy Barber there too, and Daniel Stevens. That's Andrew Dyson's teammate. We'll see how they start to work together. Stephen Williams will be trying to get up to the back of his teammate Andrew Dyson. Start to work together. We know Stephen Williams does have the pace to do so also. But we're starting to see some more 2-wide action down. That looks like it's Dave Douglas and Gary Wellman. No, that's not Gary Wellman. Toddy Maxfield from Hot Toddy's Heating Installs. He's done a good job for the Sim Boys too. Dave Douglas sitting right up the backside of him. Looks like he's starting to try and push both cars up the front of the pack and try and make the moves. But we're focusing on midway through here, and we're starting to see the double file action that we started to see during the restart and at the start of the race. Everyone's starting to shuffle around too. Trent still 12 positions up from where he started. Andrew Dyson is up 1. Toddy Maxfield, Hot Toddy's Heating Installs, he is in 13. He's in 6th, 13 up from where he started. Dave Douglas up 3. Christopher Finlay up 3. Nigel Patton up 3. Christopher Finlay up 9. Nigel Patton up 3. Gary Wellman up 6. Jason Holsworth up 10. Luke Kenny up 3. Glenn Clinton, he's up 5. Christopher Tomlin's up 1. So everyone's starting to gain 2. So it's something to look out for. But the pack's really starting to tighten, and we're going to start to see some more battles form, but the high line's starting to work now, so keep an eye out on that. That's been led by Toddy Maxfield and Dave Douglas, and now we have Darren McKenzie back in the lead still, pushing along with his teammate Tom Pritchard. But how good is this so far, Paul? Everyone stay clean. We've only had 2 cautions so far, lap 36, and we still have around 100 laps remaining.
Yeah, well, 2 cautions in, 36 laps, so not too bad. I thought we might have maybe had an extra one by now, but we're chucking along as you said earlier, and we're going alright. So hopefully the guys can get a green flag run now, and we can see a bit more strategy come into the race as well.
Yeah, and strategy still in play here. Remember, 3 sets of tyres for this one, so it's going to become a bit of a juggling act. Who's taken tyres, who hasn't taken tyres, who's yet to take tyres. So we'll start to see towards the back end of the race, does anyone else need to take tyres to get to the end. But super speedways naturally don't use the extra set of tyres that's been provided to us tonight, but been a bit tighter, 1.5 miles, we might start to see this, but we should still see an awesome race start to form tonight. But I will go back over the track notes that I took early tonight. Atlanta Motor Speedway round number 9, and this is the second round of Atlanta Motor Speedway for the Skypoynt Triple Crown. This is the 5th race of the Triple Crown, if I'm correct, after having Talladega, Daytona, Atlanta during the start of the season. We had Daytona last round, and now Atlanta, and then we have Talladega after this one. So we're starting to see the second form of the Triple Crown midway through the season here. Here at Atlanta, hosted NASCAR since 1960, which they opened in July 31st, 1960. So they started running the NASCAR series as soon as they opened, so that's cool to see. Just over 1.5 miles, 1.540 miles, and that's cost $1.8 million to build, and that's not even considering the renovations that they just went through. 130 laps, just over 200 miles that the drivers are covering here tonight. 3 tyre sets and 75% fuel, and we haven't yet seen some green flag pit stops, so not too sure what the tanks are going to hold here tonight. But what I can say, Trent Gosley now getting a bit of a push from Hot Toddies, and he's starting to make a move up for the lead, but now getting 3 wide towards the mid-pack of the field, and everyone's starting to fight each other now. So we're going to keep a lookout for this one, because we might start to see some fights starting to brawl out. But a couple cars out of this one, but quite a few still in it, and we have an awesome battle up at the front here. 4-car battle: Darren McKenzie, Trent Gosley, Tom Pritchard, and Toddy Maxfield. That's your 4 cars battling up at the front, and just keep an eye out for Christopher Finlay. He's there as well. Andy Barber will be trying to get back up with their teammates And we'll just check very briefly for Aiden. He's in 14th, so still 10 down from where he started. Just being patient and keep an eye on him. Like I said earlier in the broadcast, he's going to be one to look out for too. He'll be looking at having a bit of a recovery drive after this one. As we still have the battle up the front there, we're starting to see Christopher Finlay. He's having a crack too, and looks like Henry Fenton P7. He's starting to have a little bit of fight too. Andy Barber's also starting to join in, so everyone's starting to have a brawl up the front, and we could see a little bit more action here up the front. But Tom Pritchard side by side with Trent Gosley. This is for the top four. And this is for the back end of the podium. Looks like he's just briefly got Tom, and the top line's really starting to work side by side with Darren McKenzie for the lead of the motor race. Trent Gosley now surpassing Darren McKenzie. Darren still, well, Trent now got the bonus point for a lap led. Darren McKenzie still has that lead now. And Tom Pritchard down the bottom there is going to try and push him as well. Christopher Finlay down the bottom there is going to try and push him as well. And Henry Fenton, he's just lurking in the background a little bit there, so he'll be trying to get up to the front to push as well. So keep an eye out on this battle. Lap 46 now out of 130, and the fight is on to the front. Trent Gosley and Toddy Maxfield, that high line starting to work really well. We have Aiden Schulz down the mid-pack. He's starting to run the top line too. So that's our 3 cars out of the top 17 now. Well, the top 17 on the lead lap. And only 3 cars opting to run the high line. Everyone's staying low. And that seems the way to go at the moment. But Trent Gosley, Todd Maxfield still trying to use that middle line to really start to navigate this track and navigate their way up to the front. It looks like it's starting to work too. Trent Gosley and Darren McKenzie still side by side as they go through the tri-oval for the 48th time tonight. We're just over a quarter of the race, and Toddy Maxfield just jumping in down the bottom line, abandoning the number 4, Trent Gosley, leaving him out for dead there. But Aiden also running now in 8th too. So looks like he's found his teammate after Riley Curtis, so let's try and work together also. Oh, there's a car up in the barrier there, and it doesn't look like there's any caution, but it looks like Chris Tomlin in 21st, another lapped car, and that's pretty unfortunate for him. He won't be too happy with that one, but he's had a shocker of a night, and he's definitely going to be a bunch to reflect on too, because his teammate Luke Kenny in 18th, he's a lap down. His mate Troy Mortensen from Platinum, working together with those guys. I'm pretty sure, but they still have Will Jesberg in their team. He's in 16th, and Kobe Jordan, not too sure where he is. Don't really think he's running tonight. So looks like he's not running here. Looks like he's just playing a supportive role, just cheering on his teammates. But bit different not to have him here, and it's a bit unfortunate because we love Kobe being in this series, and definitely could have been one in contention here tonight. But Trent Gosley, Garrett Willman now back at it up the front, and that is for the podium. That has Toddy Maxfield now there. Oh, sorry, that's Toddy Maxfield in 4th. Trent Gosley, he's now in 3rd. The top 6, the 3rd, 4th, and 5th, 6th, they've all gained. Trent Gosley now at 13. Toddy Maxfield up 15. and Christopher Finlay up 13. Toddy Maxfield, Christopher Finlay. They're going to start to work together also. The teammate Gary Wellman, he's in 12th, so he'll be trying to get up to the front there. Gary Wellman sitting behind Aiden on the high line towards the back end of the pack. He'll be starting to try and give his buddy a bit of a push there and try and work their way up to the front. But this has started to form a good race here for the Skypoynt NASCAR Truck Series. But let's tune back in with Blocker and see what he started to notice as well, because apart from doing the cameras, he's able to sit back and observe, and let's see if he has some observations for us.
Oh, yeah, it definitely looks like the elbows are out a little bit. Oh, and we've just gone to a caution here, Ryan. So, yeah, it looks like the elbows are out a little bit. Trying to maybe push Trent up the track a little bit and slow down his run. Trent's trying to use that side draft as well, trying to get the run around, but can't quite do it on his own there, as Todd Maxfield sort of left him out there to jump in front of his teammate Christopher Finlay. So yeah, and looking towards that run there as well, as we were, I'm not sure how many laps we were. We are 54 of 130, so looks like once again the trucks are starting to get a little bit loose in the rear as well. Everyone's ducking into pit lane here now, so Todd Maxfield a little bit uncertain if he was going to pit. They're leaving that quite late, but he's coming into pit lane as well. So we'll jump back to the replay, the Skypoynt replay, and we'll see what caused that caution.
Dave Douglas at the bottom there. Aiden just gets a little bit of tap with Gary Wellman, and that sends both cars up in the top barrier there. Aiden now being involved in the second incident this night, so that's unfortunate to see, and that's a bit of a disappointing night for him. But yeah, it's not the night that Aiden would want, but we're having a look at the back end here. He just gets a little bit loose, putting Gary to blame there. Looks like he just got a little bit loose there, or maybe a little bit of net code, but it looks like he's just done it himself. Let's have a look at the chopper. And he's just gotten loose, and that's caused Gary Wellman to get involved in that one, and Dave Douglas managed to escape that one. Bit unfortunate, but that's just the way it goes here. No fast repairs, so looks like Aiden might be out of this one.
Yeah, definitely not the night Aiden would have been wanting tonight. After a pretty good run last week at Daytona, so he had the pace in the truck tonight, and yeah, just early mistake, a little bit of damage, and now that looks like that's causing some more problems with the truck in the mid race.
Yeah, and like I said earlier, there's a bit of a tight strat, and looks like he just got a little bit loose, and that's caused his night to unfold not how he wanted it, but yeah, a bit disappointing for that, but we were keeping on him. He's doing awesome, and no doubt excited to see how he will perform next round when we head over to Talladega. Aiden, probably watching the broadcast. Good job, buddy. Did a good job, and push forward and see where you can come. But unfortunate to see that now that's caused the third caution. Lap 56 out of 130. That's brought everyone together too. Everyone's starting to go single file, so we might see a restart very shortly.
Yeah, it looks like Trent Gosley's got the jump through pit lane, so he's managed to come out on the front row here for the restart.
Awesome to see. Trent Gosley now in second position, starting next to Darren McKenzie. That's a bit of a swap from the other restart that we had for the second caution, but we'll see how the cars get off this one for the third time here tonight. Darren McKenzie still in the lead. He's going to start us off for the third time tonight. These guys getting off really well, doing a good job at staying nice and clean there. Darren McKenzie, Tom Pritchard now working together. Trent Gosley up in the high line, Stephen Williams down the bottom. Everyone's starting to find the rowing spot on the racetrack. And we'll see how everyone's strategies start to work out. Lap 57. Out of 130, 16 cars remain on the lead lap. That last one being Gary Wellman, who's starting to drop dramatically. Same with Jason Holdsworth. But everyone's starting to get their form. Unfortunately, I was looking at the wrong thing. Yeah, Gary Wellman looks like he has significant damage to his truck, so we might shortly see him pull into the pit lane, unfortunately. But whatever he can do, just get the points he can, and that's all he really can do here tonight to fix what's just happened, or just try and recover a little bit from it. But Darren McKenzie still having the lead. Trent Gosley now in third. That promotes Tom Pritchard into second. Stevie Williams now in the third. Trent Gosley moving down the fourth. Andy Barber down the bottom line. He's starting to work. Also has Gary Wellman above him on the high line. Riley Curtis, Andrew Dyson, they're behind Andy Barber, and Andrew Dyson and Stephen Williams will be trying to find each other too. So the Skypoynt entry of Andy Barber will be trying to get up to the front of his two teammates. And first and second, everyone's starting to find their spot. Two cars side by side. We have side by side action. Sorry, there we go. I got to it eventually, but we are side by side here for lap 60, and everyone's starting to fight. The high line starting to come forward. Everyone's starting to move low as well. Everyone's moving around left, right, and centre, and that's allowing us to see a bit of a different strategy here. But Gary Wellman just in the back will be lapped very shortly, unfortunately for him. But apart from that, 15 cars still remain in this one. 15 cars still in contention to the win. We are nearly halfway through the race, and we'll see what happens from now on. But we have Trent Gosley starting to run up in the high line. We most as well go on board with him too, because that's going to be an awesome view to watch as he starts to push forward and tries to push up to the front to have another go at Darren McKenzie. But we did see a couple of cars moving around down the bottom line. We do have a car in the barrier to caution for the fourth time tonight, and I do see a car skipping across the grass here, and that looks like it's Henry Fenson, but we'll see what happens there. But we're starting to see some action starting to perform here, and we're only halfway through, so we'll have a look at the replay very shortly and see what happened.
Well, there it is.
Looks like Gary Wellman. Oh, we have a car upside down too. I think that's Riley Curtis. He goes for a bit of a tumble too. He just tangled with Gary Wellman down the front straight. We see trying to look for him. We'll have another look again at the full speed. Riley Curtis there down the bottom line just tries to avoid an incident. It looks like Stephen Williams or Andrew Dyson, either one of those, gets involved with Toddy Maxfield, and Riley Curtis goes for a bit of a tumble. Aiden Schill's actually very, very close to getting caught up in that one as well. Christopher Finlay dodging that one as well. And we have a couple of cars skipping across the grass. Looks like that's Henry Fenton also. And that was a bit of a big one, and Riley Curtis went for a bit of a ride there, unfortunately. But that's just the way it goes. We do have big crashes like that in this series, and it doesn't take a lot to cause them. But fourth caution under the right lap number 63, car 63, number 63, a bit of a special number at the moment. George Russell winning the Brazilian Grand Prix. Good job with him. Bit of a shout out to him. Just felt like saying it instead of being a little quiet about it. But If you haven't checked out the last F1 race, that's definitely one to check out for. But Darren McKenzie, Tom Pritchard, that's your front row. Andy Barber now in fourth, Trent Gosley in third. And we did see earlier on Trent, he brought his way up to the front, and we did question his pace there, but there's no questioning him at the moment. He's doing an awesome job at the front there, Paul.
Yeah, definitely. And I'm just having a look here. Well, the pace car lights are off, but we're going to bring someone up into the booth who's not actually on track tonight, and we'll just see how their team is actually going. So, going to bring up Kobe Jordan. You got a copy there, Kobe?
Yeah, I do, mate.
How you going tonight?
Yeah, good. Let me just turn this music down.
Listening to the tunes, mate. Listening to the tunes.
Yeah, we don't see you on track tonight, but see you in the Discord with your teammates there. So just on the crew chief tonight.
Yeah, I'm just spotting for Kenny.
Yeah, no worries. And how you boys going? I see Will Jesberg. He's having a pretty good run as well. He's up in 8th there.
Yeah, he's doing all right. I mean, our guys have had a bit of a rough one. I hate to see it, but well, next week, I guess.
Yeah, next week. Yep.
Bit unfortunate for him. He was doing well during the opening stages, but a couple of your teammates getting involved in that one. That looks like it's Chris Tomlin, Luke Kenny, and others. But round number 9 here so far. How do you think your team has started to perform in this one?
It has been a rough night with that first incident. Kenny really had nowhere to go. The outside line was full, and the two cars that were getting involved with each other. Oh, look out. Oh, look out.
Now we have caution, pretty big crash there.
That's a big one. Oh.
That looks like Darren McKenzie's now just been smashed out of the motor race. We can see him down the bottom line there. He's pretty heavily damaged there. Sorry, Kobe, to cut you off, but we've just had...
So I'll let you dissect that one, boys. I got to jump back down.
No worries, mate. I'll throw you back down into your team, but...
Thanks, guys.
How crazy was that one, mate? But that was Kobe Jordan. But now we're here for the 5th caution of the night. That's definitely woken me up. I was getting a bit yawny. And you know what happened last time? I fell asleep during the broadcast. So now I'm not full of energy, losing my voice, all of that stuff. Tom Pritchard's now leading the motor race. Darren McKenzie, he is in 10th position. That's a big accident too. Andy Barber, he is in 12th. He's in pits as well. So it looks like a lot of cars have been heavily damaged in this one. We'll check out the replay very shortly, but that was a very large accident, and I won't blame Kobe, but that only happened when Kobe got in here, throw you under the bus, mate. But that was absolutely crazy. We'll check out the replay in just a second, but that's a quite big one, considering that Darren McKenzie has now been involved in that. That looks like just a bit of a squeeze up the front there. That's Andrew Dyson. Andy Barber's been fed into... No, that's... Yeah, Andy Barber's been fed into the fence too. He gets nailed from behind. He doesn't really like that either. Darren McKenzie gets down the bottom there, tags a couple cars as well. And having a look at Aiden over there dodging as well. But that's a lot of cars involved. Andy Barber just been smashed out. Darren McKenzie been involved. Aiden has now been involved in another incident. That's the 3rd one of the night. Nigel Patton's involved in that too. Stephen Williams up the top there, very marginally misses that one. And that was huge. And that's going to knock pretty much all of the field out of this one. And I'm pretty sure there's only 9 cars that haven't been involved in that one. But that's absolutely massive. 4 cars up the front. 5 cars. That's Tom Pritchard, Andrew Dyson, Henry Fenton, Holdsworth, and Gosley. Everyone else is in pit lane. That is Finlay, Schulz, Douglas, Jesberg, McKenzie, Williams, Stevens, Barber, Patton, Wellman, Maxfield. They're all in the pit lane. They're coming out the pits now, but that was a massive accident, Paul.
Yeah, definitely. It literally wiped half the field, if not more, half the field out of the race there. So everyone in pit lane trying to get as much damage as they can get fixed. So little bit of damage there on the left side of Daiso's truck, and Fenson got some battle scars as well. So yeah, it's definitely going to change the outcome of this race now.
Yeah, and changing the outcome it will do. But that was a big one, unfortunately, getting involved in that one. But
well, there's
been unfortunate to see.
There's one sort of main victor out of this rally, and it's got to be Tom Pritchard. You know, he's doing quite well in the championships, and this is certainly going to help him now with his championship points as well.
Yeah, and that's going to promote the championship leader, actually. But that's caused a lot of drivers out, and I'm pretty sure there's only 8 cars that are on the racetrack at the moment that are on the lead lap. So that's just thrown so much out. That's thrown a lot of cars out of this one, and that's going to really shape up the remainder of this race.
Well, we actually got Jason Holdsworth now up into P4, up 22 spots. So it's could be a big contention here. Push for Jason Holdsworth now, getting himself into the race here for a podium spot.
Yeah, and that's really started to promote everyone really in the fight for the podium too. And we'll go through your grid for this restart. That's Tom Pritchard from Skypoynt, Andrew Dyson, DPR, RacingSimRigs.com, Henry Fenton, Jason Holdsworth from Nitro, Trent Gosley, Christopher Finlay from Simboys, Dave Douglas, Will Jesberg. 8 cars on the lead lap, and we're on lap 69. Nice, but that's going to really shape up this race, and we'll see what's going to happen from here on.
Well, the big question is now, Ryan, is who's going to work with who to try and take this race win away from Tom?
I'm not too sure, but Tom, being the championship leader, this could actually, you never know, this pack is like a swarm of bees. We have 8 cars, well, 7 cars now, they're all against Tom, and, well, not against, they're all just trying to catch up to Tom, and, yeah, there was a big accident, but might be a bit of a silly idea, but let's bring up Darren McKenzie into the broadcast booth. Darren, you were leading the race for the majority of that one, just got caught up in that other accident, but a bit unfortunate to see that happen, mate.
Yeah, watching the replay back then, it's,
Yeah, it looks like
it was the right time to be making it 3 wide, but yeah, it's sort of got squeezed a little as he was making the move, and it'll hit the fan from there, but yeah, I was on for I was looking at the win in my point of view. I had the pace, led most of the laps, and yeah, it's just disappointing, that's all. Hopefully I can salvage something and get some points still.
Yeah, and no doubt you were definitely in contention in the podium, if not the win. You were leading it on with your teammate Tom, who's actually now in 2nd place. He's fighting up the front as well, but your teammate Aiden also been involved in quite a lot of accidents tonight. Doesn't look like it's a very good night in the Southern Star Skypoynt headquarters tonight.
No, it started off well, where we finished last week, but yeah, it's the way the super speedways go. It's you never know when your number's up.
And you definitely had the pace there, but coming to Talladega next round for round 10. What do you think that you'll be bringing into Talladega coming off this one? Is there anything that you're going to do differently, or anything that's a bit of a learning curve from this one?
No, not really. Everything I'm doing is right. I was just wrong place at the wrong time. I got pole. I led a buttload of laps already. I don't know about fastest lap. I don't think I was quite there, but yeah, I was in a pretty dominating position tonight, but like I said, wrong place, wrong time, and it's all over in a split second.
Yeah, and it happens so quickly, and definitely you weren't at fault for that. and looks like Andy Barber got involved in that one too. Also, Aiden as well, and Tom being the only the only person from your team that didn't get involved in that one. He's the remaining one. So thanks for the quick little interview. A bit disappointing night for you, and definitely going to do better next time, and no doubt you'll be pretty strong in Talladega.
Yeah, hopefully I'll be putting me back on track tonight though, and hopefully get a few more spots.
Yeah, and that's a big possibility too. Looks like no one else is on the track cutting laps, and that could promote you up towards the top 10. But thanks for briefly speaking with us, Darren, and look forward to seeing you racing next week.
All right, thank you.
That's Darren McKenzie, our race leader, at the time our race leader, and our pole sitter for the start of the race, and he definitely had the pace throughout. He was able to push hard, and everyone was finding it a bit hard to beat him, but bit of a bad night in the Southern Star Skypoynt garage, but we will find a couple of other people to talk to throughout the night. But we do have the battle up at the front here. Trent Gosley now has the lead over Tom Pritchard. Andrew Dyson is in third. Henry Fenton in fourth. Dave Douglas fifth. Christopher Finlay, he's in sixth. Jason Holsworth, Jesberg. That's the remaining people in the field that are on the lead lap. So I've done plenty of talking, so I'll shut up, and we can get some cool shots of the cars running up the front here, and we'll see what happens from now onwards. And yeah, no doubt we have an awesome fight up the front here, so we'll be right back in a couple of laps, and we'll tune back in. Here we are now on lap 80, just looking at the back of the race leader, Tom Pritchard, in a bit of a battle pack here up the front here. Tom is racing against Trent, who's on the high line there. You can see on our left-hand side, Henry Fenton behind Andrew Dyson's having a bit of a peak as well. And then we have Dave, Christopher Finlay, James Holsworth, Will Jesberg. Those guys are running a bit single file too. We have a car blinking out there that looks like it was Henry Fenton, but we are nearly at lap 150 laps remaining in the race. 8 cars remain, and looks like everyone in the pit lane is just trying to repair. Go through the cars that's sitting in the pit lane at the moment. We have Aiden Schulz, Darren McKenzie. He's still repairing up from the damage he got. Bit of a contact with Andrew Dyson and the number 4 of Trent Gosley making a little bit of contact there. But Aiden now coming out the pit lane too, and we'll have a quick look at him very shortly. And he's coming back on track after getting some damage fixed, and we will see Darren McKenzie coming out very shortly as well. But unfortunately not for us on the side, guys. But we still have a battle up the front here. Tom Pritchard defending Henry Fenton, Trent Gosley, and Andrew Dyson up at the front.
It definitely looks like that inside line is where you want to be. The outside line just can't quite get the push around to clear the leader of Pritchard there. So Dyson's sort of been pushing Greg Gosley there for a while, and you can get the nose out in front, maybe half a truck, but got a bit loose a few laps ago and just lost that run they had. So if we had Dave Douglas there, who's just happy sitting back there on foot at the moment, if he popped out and might cause a little bit of a break between them, but might actually help push up and get that truck clear around Tom Pritchard. But Dyson's looking for the big push here now, and it looks like he might be able to clear it. So let's see if Trent's going to drop in, take the race lead away, or if he's going to pull Dyson along with him.
It looks like Andrew Dyson's trying to push him as well. Tom Pritchard bottom line looking really strong. But fences have gone high now, gone low. We have Dave Douglas. He's in 5th as well. And we're starting to see a bit of a fight here. But Trent Gosley now taking the lead of the motor race. And now a big battle starting to form here now. Nearly 3 wide. Going down into turn number 1 for the 86th time. And we are 2 wide for the first 2 rows. And that's 1st, 2nd, 3rd and 4th. And we're running down the back stretch. Tom and Trent side by side into turn 3. Getting a bit close down the bottom. We have Tom getting really close to the wall. We had Dave Douglas getting pretty close there too. Darren McKenzie now back out on track. And he's 20 laps down. And he'll be looking at gaining from where he was in the accident. He won't gain from where he was. He won't be back in the lead, but he'll try to see how much he can fix the damage that he maintained, because even on the high line they're getting out the way very nicely for the drivers, very respectfully. And now we've gone back single file.
And Tom wasn't happy to give up that lead from the push from Dyson on Gosley to take away the race lead there from him. Going for a nice switchback there, over and under, to try and get back around Gosley. So Dyson's just stuck in that pushing seat at the moment, just along for the ride, and hopefully he can try and get his way through. But yeah, again, back to Dave Douglas, wearing that number 1 on his car from last season. He still looks like he's just happy there, sitting back in 5th. He had a bit of a run around when Tom ran up high against the wall, and he had that run there. But yeah, it looks like that outside line with Tom at the front, Dyson there behind him, does have quite a bit of pace on that outside line as well. So we'll see how this fares, but yeah, see if Dyson can push Tom back around Gosley.
We still have the 4-car battle up at the front. Trent Gosley now our race leader, not race. And Tom Pritchard there on the higher line. Trent Gosley down the bottom. Andrew Dyson and Henry Fenton, they're fighting for the top 4. And they're doing a good job battling too. We have Dave Douglas in 5th. He's sounded a little bit quiet, not really getting involved with the top 4. He's just been a little bit patient and waiting back. And he's just been nice and patient, waiting for the moment that he can start to take the top 4 on. And we are still on lap 91 out of 130. So we still have 40 laps remaining in the race. So there still is another pit stop in this one. And we'll see if that still jumbles up the field as well. Some things to look out for here tonight. We do have quite a few cars out of this one, and that looks like 16th down to 26th. So the last 10 cars, they are out. Darren McKenzie, Aiden Schulz, they are out. Darren McKenzie, Aiden Schulz, Toddy Maxfield, Chris Tomlin, they're out in the... Well... Sorry, I'll repeat that. So Darren McKenzie, Aiden Schulz, Toddy Maxfield, Chris Tomlin, Glenn Klein, Luke Kenny, and Daniel Stevens. Those drivers, they're starting to try and recover from before, but we are going to go on board with the driver now. Yeah, going on board with David Douglas, and just having a look down at the remainder of the field. He's sitting back in 5th, so he's been nice and patient in their few lap cars there as well. Like I said before, There's a bunch of cars here now that are overtaken. They're looking for a bit of a recovery driver. Aiden and that looks like Darren McKenzie. They were running along together. They stayed up really high. Saw some sparks coming off the wall. Looks like they came from Aiden Chills, just making sure he was out of the way for the lead lap cars. But we'll stay on board on top here with Davey Douglas until we get to lap 100, and we'll watch the battle form, and we'll see how he's going to progress through this battle.
Looks like Trent Gosseley's found his teammate here as well, so Daniel Stevens in behind him there. So Daniel Stevens going to look to work with Trent there and help keep pushing him along for the race win.
And Trent Gosley doing a good job up at the front there. Henry Fenson's there, Tom Pritchard's there. We have a few cars down the back. And Daniel Stevens in ninth, it looks like we're focusing on at the moment. He's going to be trying to run with them, but we can see a bunch of lapped cars just gained onto the lead pack. Here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we have 8 cars up the front there, and then we have a couple lapped cars towards the back end there. And it looks like a couple cars catching a bit of draft. They'll be trying to jump on board and really use the draft to get past. Well, not get past, but just run along as best as they can. But starting to see the sun start to come up too, shining off the trucks too, and looks quite cool coming off them ones. But Trent Gosley still maintaining the lead. Looks like his teammate there of Daniel Stevens, he's where second place would be, but he lapped down. He's going to try and push his teammate too. We have Andrew Dyson there as well. We have Henry Fenton there as well. So a few cars up there, a few teammates helping out, a few lapped cars helping out. But that doesn't stop from the fact that we do have quite a lot of cars out of the race. That includes Stephen Williams. That's Andrew Dyson's teammate, Andy Barber. That's Tom's teammate, Nigel Patton, I'm pretty sure, is out. Gary Willman's out. Riley Curtis is out. Steve Hoppett's out. Troy Mawson's in. Maxim Marshall, Nigel Seidel, Tompkins Hill's out pretty early. I'm pretty sure that was on lap 2. Oh, Henry Fenton, no, he's in the pit lane, and that's going to, get himself a penalty. He just tried to come in the pit lane, locked up a little bit too much. We'll see if we can get a replay on that one, but that was a pretty big moment. Green flag pit stops coming into play now. So keep an eye out in the front here after the replay, and we'll see how the drivers will start to try and come in for the green flag pit stops. But we are having a look at Henry Fenton comes down into the pit lane. He's starting to slow down now. See the line there. It looks like he just overshot it onto the grass, locked off fours, missed the cone. He could have turned right, cut the grass, got back on, but you can see he's just trying to stop the car, and unfortunately he just gets into the pit lane, and that has caused a penalty. So we'll see him come out come back in very shortly after he stops. If not, they let him serve that penalty in the pit lane, but that's going to bring him up down at least. So that's not something that he wanted to happen here tonight. But we are now triple digits on the lap count. Lap 101 out of 130. And we're going to start to see the end game come into play. Tom Pritchard and Fenton both in the pit lane. So we'll see how Tom can... We'll see how Tom's strategy is going to work out now. He's came in at lap 101, now out into the clean, open track, and the other guy should be coming in very shortly.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how those early pit stops, particularly for Tom Pritchard now, see how that's going to play out for him, because he's going to have no one to work with when he comes out. Very costly mistake for Henry Fenton there as well with that early pit stop. Not able to pull that car up and just missed the pit cone there. But yeah, I'm keen to see how this is going to work. So Gosler's getting a nice little run there with his teammate playing a little bit of a block there on Daiso, so that's going to help out Gosling a little bit. But I did notice when I had a run earlier that you could get a bit of a run from about a second back and you could still catch that car. So there was a lot of draft speed here tonight as well from being back. So it will be interesting to see if Dyson can clear Stevens, which he sort of needs to, and if Douglas there in the background is going to help him pass that lapped car.
Yeah, and we'll touch on again about the draft here tonight. We did also see that quite a few of those lapped cars were able to catch up onto the draft and maintain the draft, and they were able to stay on to the lead pack for a short while while they were on their own recovery drives. But now the draft isn't here. But Tom, pit lane now we have Daniel Stevens and Luke Kenny. They're in the pit lane. So a couple of cars coming into the pit lane now. 26 laps remain in the race. So this is where we're going to start to see all the strategies work out and see who's going to make it, who's not going to make it, who needs to pit and who can get to the end. But now we have number 4 of Trent Gosling. He's in the pit lane now for his green flag pit stop. He gets in well, and he gets in a lot better than Henry Fenton did, and makes the marker, and he's in the pit lane now. Andrew Dyson, your effective race leader now with Dave Douglas, double Ds, big set of double Ds. He is in second, if I'm correct. I'll double check that. Yeah, he is. Christopher Finlay and Jason Holsworth, that's your third and fourth. There's a little bit of a gap there. As we start to see everyone in, Dave Douglas, Andrew Dyson now in, and look, everyone gets in nice and well and does a good job at coming in. We have the Nitro Racing number 11 of Jason Holsworth. He is the only one that hasn't pitted so far. Everyone is in the pit lane, and he has the track to himself here. So we'll stay on board here with him for a little bit and see when he's going to come in. 24 laps remain in the race. We're on lap 116, 106, and now he's in the pit lane. And this one's going to be the final one of the race. Let's see if he's going to grab tyres or not. He's stopped on his marks beautifully, and we'll keep a close eye on the truck. And no, just feel for Jason Holsworth, and he'll be coming out very shortly. And now he's out, a bit of a tyre smoke and burning a little bit of that precious rubber. Now we're looking at the number 11 Nitro Racing of Jason Holsworth, and he's sitting. Jason Holsworth, he is sitting, not too sure where, but he's coming back out into the track. We do have 24 laps remain in the race, and we can see the couple lap cars in the background there, and he's starting to transit through. But we are ticking down the laps pretty quickly. We are starting to see a bit of the end game. We're starting to see the end game come into play here. Everyone's strategies throughout the night, that's now going to come into this one. And we're going to see how everything works out. But Jason Holsworth, your effective leader at the moment, doing a great job out in the front. And he's doing well. And I'll just go back over very briefly. If you're only just jumped into the broadcast here, we are turning down the back. We are starting to tick off the laps, and we can see a couple of those cars starting to fight there. We do have Christopher Finlay, Andrew Dyson, and the number 1 of Dave Douglas. So it looks like the Nitro Racing, Jeff Holsworth has jumped those guys. He's done an awesome job. Remembering, we are here at Atlanta Motor Speedway, round number 9. And this is the second round of the Triple Crown. 21 laps remaining, and we are ticking down these really quickly. We have seen a few cars out of this one. Only 8 cars remain on the lead lap, and now that is 6 now. Henry Fenton is a lap down. But pretty good race so far. having a look up at the front here. Jason Holsworth, our effective leader, and Andrew Dyson, Christopher Finlay, and Dave Douglas. That's your top 4, and we're starting to see the fight for the end of the race start to unfold.
Yeah, it looks like that early pit stop there for Tom Pritchard might have hurt him a little bit. He's about 11 seconds back there from the leaders, so we've got a 4-way race here for a podium spot with Holdsworth, Dyson, Douglas and Finlay. So Finlay just running wide a little bit and Douglas going under there, so not too sure if Finlay's just going to sit back for a while and look for that run at the last few laps, or if he's just going to let Dave slot on through for championship points.
But the championship fight is on still. Tom Pritchard, he is our championship leader. Pretty sure he is our Triple Crown leader as well. Car 6 sitting P6. He's up 9 positions from where he started, and he's doing a good job. Just been nice and patient there. He is 12 seconds off the lead. He is just a second off Trent Gosley, and he is gaining quite significantly to Trent also. So he's about to be in the 5th position. Big thing to notice too, looking up the front, we do have 4 cars, single file, and Jake Holsworth up 4 positions from where he started. He is our race leader. Andrew Dyson, he is in 2nd. He's up 23 positions from where he started. And Dave Douglas, he's up 15 from where he started too. Just about to turn down into 15 laps remaining. And this race is starting to unfold really quickly. Only a few cars remain in the race after quite a few incidences happening, but that doesn't take away from the awesome race that we've been able to see so far. We'll look for someone to talk to very shortly, but not too sure who we can have a chat to so far. Looks like everyone is quite busy on the racetrack, apart from a couple of the Southern Star people, and not too sure if Andy Barber would like a chat at the moment, and not too sure who you guys want us to talk to. So if you want to see who we can have a chat to, of course not being on the track, just comment below, and then we'll drag someone up and have a quick chat to them. But the lead lap car is starting to pass a couple of the lap down cars. That's Darren McKenzie, and that's Hot Toddies and Aiden Schills, the top 4 now surpassing them now, top 5, and awesome job there. The last lap, Andrew Dyson and Jason Holsworth, they were dead on the same lap time, so keep a close eye on them. That's really close. Both lap times were 30.66, and Dave Douglas 30.69. Nice. But Dave Douglas and Andrew Dyson just doing the race best lap time, so good job on them. But the battle is still going on here for the front, and it looks like everyone's starting to really use the draft, really start to push, and really start to get to this checkered flag quickly. But that doesn't take away from the awesome race. Everyone's starting to have 5 cautions here tonight. Quite a few crashes. We've had a big accident that just took out the remainder of the field, which is why we see only a couple cars still circulating. But I'll have a look at who we could talk to. We have pretty much from P16 to P26. That's our options too. So pretty sure I can come to a decision there. But you know what? It's been a pretty good race so far, Paul, and has been definitely entertaining for a few big ones.
Yeah, definitely, and I didn't think we'd only be down to four trucks for the podium spots with 11 to go. So I think what I might do is let Christopher Finlay there, we'll get a backseat run with him, and we'll jump on board as a passenger, and he can take us around for a couple of laps, and we'll get ready to call the last few laps.
Right, and it's going to be pretty exciting into the race too. We see we are on board with pretty sure that's Christopher Finlay and from Sim Boys. So we do have a couple cars up at the front there. We have Jess Holsworth Nitro, we have simracing.com DPR, we have Dave Douglas's, that's his A1 Sim Sports, and then we have Sim Boys there. So 4 different teams for the top 4. And Trent Gosley, I don't really remember what team he is, so I'll just have a quick look through the Discord channel. Can't see Middle Finger Racing and Southern Stars. So we have 1 person per team for the top 6. Finley starting to make a move around the outside of Dave Douglas there, and he looks like he might get the move done. No. Still side by side, but through the tri-oval here, we should see Dave Douglas be able to maintain that 3rd position. But the high line's working well. Dave Douglas isn't giving this one up. The fight's on for the back end of the podium as well. So keep a close eye on this one. Christopher Finlay now on the back there. Trent Gosley 15 seconds off P4, but Tom Pritchard is pretty close to Trent Gosley. 1/10 of a second difference between them 2 drivers. Now 7 laps remain, and we're starting to close down on this one, and should be a good one to watch.
Yeah, definitely, and like Christopher Finlay just testing the waters here, see if he could get a bit of a single car run around, and maybe he's just hoping that Dave will pop out and he can give Dave a push up to the front here.
Yeah, not too sure who's going to work together. Well, obviously everyone here is pretty good friends with each other, so we'll see who is loyal and who's going to really start to fight together. But like I said before, 6 teams, the top 6, they're all different. So we'll see which teams work together, which teams are willing to work together, and which drivers are willing to work together. But 6 laps remain. We're passing a lap car on the high line there, but pretty calm end to this one, Paul.
Yeah, give or take a few more laps, and it's going to get very spicy here. We're going to be watching, Dyson's going to be watching that mirror. Dave's trying to poke his nose out the side there, so Dyson will be watching that mirror, trying to go for a run, and here we go. Dyson wasn't able to pop out, so Douglas out on the outside line. Finley's going with him, so we're going to see if they can get the push around, but here comes Dyson trying to pop out.
I'm starting to see the top 4 really start the fight. Andrew Dyson's having a crack at the lead, just knocking on the back of the 11 of Jason Holsworth. But the battle is still, the win is still be nice and close too. Everyone's close to each other. Everyone's right at each other's bumpers. Everyone's trying to find ways of getting past each other, and it looks like Dave Douglas, Christopher Finlay, they are really trying to stick to the high line. They don't really have a choice here. We have Nitro DPR down the bottom line of Jason Holsworth and Andrew Dyson. They're holding the bottom line. They're not willing to give that up, and that's what the other guys of Dave Douglas and Finlay, that's what they need. They just need a little bit of a mistake there. They need a little bit of a wrong push, something that's going to really affect Jason and Andrew. And 3 laps remaining. We might not see this one, but Chris is starting to make a move in for the lead, and he's having a go at Andrew Dyson for the front, and we're going to start to see Dave Douglas there on the high line. He's starting to push as well. Andrew Dyson trying to push the back of Jason Holsworth, so we're starting to see side-by-side battles here up at the front. Jason Holsworth still able to maintain that lead. And Andrew Dyson, Christopher Finlay, they're having a fight for the podium. But don't discount Dave Douglas. He is one to also look out for. And hopefully we get to have a chat with him. But we'll find out this time through. White flag, final lap. Lap 130. 130 couple lapped cars up there. Stephen Williams, Aidan Shills. And we're about to approach another lap car. But we are We are still side by side up at the front. Christopher Finlay down on the high line. Jace Holsworth on the bottom line. Bit of lap traffic there up the top. Andrew Dyson. Now we've got 3 wide at the end. Andrew across the checkered flag. Christopher Finlay, he gets the win here tonight for round number 9 here at Skypoynt NASCAR Truck Series. Jason Holsworth in second. Andrew Dyson third. Dave Douglas fourth. And Tom Pritchard P5 and Trent Gosley P6. And now everyone's crossing the line. But we'll have a quick replay at the end of the race before we talk to these guys. That was a really close battle at the end there. Having a look on the helicam, we can see Christopher Finlay, his teammate there. And look at that. Getting a bit of a push from, looks like Dave Douglas there. Helped him out. And with Dave's help, he was able to get the win.
Yeah, definitely. It looks like that last minute little bump there from Dave Douglas just managed to get the Simboys 104 car or truck of Christopher Finlay over the line for the win tonight.
Yeah, good job from us here at Skypoynt. Christopher Finlay, truck 104 for Simboys. He is our winner here tonight for round number 9 here at Atlanta Motor Speedway for the Royal Triple Crown. Heading across for our results. Christopher Finlay, he takes the checkered flag, just 0.013. That is the gap back to Jason Holsworth in second place. Andrew Dyson very closely before. Look at the gap at the front there. 0.024 from Andrew Dyson to Jason Holsworth. And that's a pretty wild one. Dave Douglas, he's in 4th with Tom Pritchard in 5th. Trent Gosley 6th. Henry Fenton in 7th. Will Jesberg 8th. Daniel Stevens in 9th. And Luke Kenny. That's your top 10. Glenn Klein, that's 11th. Chris Tomlin, that's 12th. Toddy Maxwell 13th. Aiden Schulz, he gets back up to 14th after the early incident. Good job for him. Recovering. Darren McKenzie, he was effectively our race leader when he got caught up with an incident, and he comes in 15th. Gary Wallman 16th. Riley Curtis, he's in 17th. with Stephen Williams in 18th. Rolling over the page. Andy Barber from Southern Stars Esports Racing Team, he's in 19th with Nigel Patton, Steve Hoppett, Troy Mortensen, Maxi Marshall, Noddy Tompkins, Nigel Seidel, Ed, Aaron Dillon, and then the 26 car grid. But Paul, that was a pretty interesting race. 5 cautions with pretty much 6 finishes at the end of that one. That was a bit interesting.
Yeah, I was interested on how that was going to play out at the end there, and it was very interesting. I thought once Finlay made that move around the outside on Douglas and got that job done, that Douglas might have thought about leaving Finlay out, because Chris Finlay around that outside, he sort of dropped back in and left Dave out. So I thought Dave might have done the same thing, but good to see Simboy's car take the win tonight. Been a while since I've seen Christopher Finlay up there in a podium spot as well, so good to see him have a good solid run tonight.
And solid run for Chris too. He did well. Andrew Dyson up 22 positions. Jason Holsworth, his second place getter, he's up 3. I'm just taking a bit of a look through the Discord to so he's going to jump up and have a chat with us, but not too sure who we're able to talk to. Chris Finlay, it looks like he's the only one down the bottom there. Looks like he's the only one that's able to talk to, but Andrew Dyson, your third place getter, you should be able to have a chat as well. So we'll bring Andrew.
I think you just drag him up.
Yeah, Andrew Dyson, you came 3rd here tonight, 22 positions up from where you started. Solid run.
Yeah, I shouldn't have started that far back. I had some internet dramas before the race, but managed to get in anyway, so that's cool.
Yeah, and you did quite a good job too. been able to recover that far, but we did have a couple of cautions throughout the race. How do you think that you navigated this one tonight?
Yeah, there's a few cautions. There's always going to be a lot of cautions in this sort of racing. I think, not so much at Daytona and Talladega. It's a bit more cruisy, but this track's pretty intense with, just being flat the whole way and kind of a super speedway now. So coming to be expected until, everyone kind of gets used to it, including me.
And have you ran here at the New Atlanta before? I assume maybe you might have ran this possibly in like Weekend Warriors or something like that in the next gen car.
I've not ran this track I've ran this in the next gen car once. Yep. And I've ran it once in the trucks too in this league, which was a bit earlier on. But I didn't get a whole lot of racing done. I think I ended up getting caught up in a wreck, funnily enough, which is it's the story of everyone's life tonight. But yeah, have raced it before.
Yeah, it seems like everyone has been involved in the wreck tonight. But you have raced the next gen here before. You've raced the truck here. How do you think that really compares between the two?
Truck's a bit looser. The next gen car is pretty planted the whole way around, so it's more positioning and strategic, more so than having a good truck underneath you and being a good pusher. Basically, it's not so much the case that in the next gen cars and these things you kind of need someone to give you a bit of a hand, more so than the next gen car. So probably a bit more to it in these things, to be honest.
Yeah, thanks, mate. And just finally, before I throw you over to Paul. Early in the season, here at Atlanta, how do you think that you went here tonight comparing to earlier in the season? Do you think you did a bit better? Is there differences that you brought here, or did you kind of come in with the same plan as you did last time?
Oh, kind of the same plan, man. I mean, you can't really change a whole lot what you're doing. You just kind of got to cruise around and do your best to stay out of the wrecks when there is some, and hopefully, if you can, keep yourself at the front because that's the best way to keep yourself out of the big ones that are happening. So. Yeah, the plan doesn't really change, mate, to be fair. Just get out there and try and stay out of the shit.
Yeah, and that was the main goal, and we did see a couple of cars, quite a few cars. We only had 6 cars on the lead lap at the end, but
yeah, good
job, P3, solid race, 22 position up for where you started, so you did drive a long way up here. But Paul Blocker, I'll throw over to Paul and see what mischievous questions he can throw your way.
Yeah,
well, it's definitely going straight under the bus here. We're going to talk about that restart and
for sure.
wide sandwich there. So talk us through that. What happened there?
Well, I figured I'd go up the middle because it looked like the cars in front of me were playing some games, and then I can't remember who it was, but one of the cars came down into me, pushed me down into, I think it might have been Andy, pushed me down into Darren, and then from there on I was just kind of watching everyone wreck in front of me and then behind me. So if I was thinking to myself, if I won that race, I'll have to send the $20 to Andy because I think he took out half the field. But I mean, obviously I didn't, and it was a great race to the end. And congrats to Chris. Actually, that was pretty sneaky at the end there to get that dub.
Yeah, definitely, and I heard it from the driver's mouth there first. So it did look like there was a little bit of games going on, even through the race. Looked like the elbows were out and trying to push people up a little bit higher as well in their line there too. So definitely didn't look like it was easy to pass.
I think that sort of thing, like as the race is going on and everyone's kind of cruising around 2 by 2, there's always a little bit of side-to-side movement and close. Sort of close moments. I don't think everyone's really trying to run into each other side to side as we're cruising along. It's just the way it is. Like cars are either getting tight or loose with the air around them and stuff like that. So it looks a little, it looks hairy and it looks like there might be some shifty stuff going on, but it probably isn't really the case. But yeah.
Alrighty, we'll let you go and celebrate your podium tonight. And any sponsors you want to shout out to?
Oh, shout out to the folks running the league. Shout out to yourself for putting on the broadcast, man. You do a pretty good job, actually. It's cool to watch. I mean, of course, I have to apologise to everyone because I did play a part in that wreck. So as cheeky as I might be when talking about Andy, I tried to stick my nose in there and maybe he didn't know or something like that. So anyway, sorry to everyone else. And quick shout out to simmings.com, South Hill Listen Hoist, BMX Mechanical, Phoenix Smokers, and Neil for the paint jobs, always looking sick.
Thanks, mate, and awesome job for your third position, and see how you go for Talladega next round.
Yeah, another one, huh? Yeah, looking forward to it.
All right, no worries. Thanks very much.
I'm
now we're going to
very
roll across.
jealous all these super speedways, they're all lined up.
Yeah, and we certainly do love the super speedways. Roll it across to Jason Holsworth, number 11, Nitro Racing. Jason, how do you think your race went tonight, mate?
For once, uneventful for me. I've been caught in a lot of crap this season, so happy just to have a clean truck at the end, no damage, and making it to the end.
Yeah, and after the incident with Darren McKenzie, Andy Barber, and the others up at the front there for the restart, you were able to take charge. After the pit stop, you were able to take charge of the race, and you were in the lead for quite a while. What do you think really stuck out to you? This race differently? Is there any plan or process that you kind of thought about before this one? Because you have had a bit of a rough time for the start of the season here.
I just sat it. I don't know if you noticed, but I was the last car in the lead pack basically for the whole race until the last pit stop. I just wanted to stay clear of everything. That was the only strategy I actually had. Save fuel to obviously minimise the time in pits on the last pit stop. And yeah, just try and keep my nose clean. That's the only strategy I had.
Yeah, and you achieved that. You did a good job. Your truck looks clean, nice and shiny. But coming into this one, Super Speedway, did you have any expectations for this one? Usually you would expect like a big crash or maybe a bit less of tyre usage. But did you expect the big incidents here tonight, or do you think it would have been a little bit cleaner, less crashes than we usually see at Daytona and Talladega?
Atlanta's the trickiest out of the super speedways just because it's actually like a tight mile and a half. It's not very wide like Talladega, so I expected quite a few big crashes. That's why I was just sitting at the back. You'll see a cleaner race next week with obviously the wideness of Talladega. But yeah, at Atlanta, just how narrow and tight the corners are, you expect those big crashes.
Yeah, and you were able to avoid them too. Staying at the back, good strategy to have. I think majority of the drivers just want to try and make it to the end to try and have a fighting chance at the end. And you four cars pretty much at the end, Chris, yourself, Andrew, and Dave. You guys are pretty much the the last guy standing really to get to the end. But heading into Talladega, what do you think you're going to do coming off this one? I'm not too sure if you have any teammates in this one, or how do you think you're going to start to work Talladega being such a high-speed track where teammates do play quite a big part in it, and we do have some boys in DPR and that kind of thing here to race against you?
I'll think about it next week. I'm not really thinking about next week already. Yeah, it doesn't bother me. Obviously, I generally would be doing better on a non-team based track. Obviously, with super speedways, you do need people to work with you. And if you're in a team, obviously, it makes it super easy when you can all push together, run different setups for your different roles. But yeah, we'll just take it as it comes next week. We'll see if we can try and sneak another one.
All right, mate. Good job for your second, and I'll throw over to Paul.
Hey, good job on P2 tonight. Thought you might have got the win there, but a sneaky little bump there, and Christopher Finlay just got pushed over the line in front of you. So hard luck on just missing the W tonight. But yeah, good solid run. Probably one of the very few trucks that was out there that was clean. But gotta say, you might need a new painter because you got a few cracks on that truck.
Oh, you can tell my boss that. I'll pass the feedback on because he does my paints for me. So
truck looks good anyway. But yeah, good job on the P2.
Thank you.
And just again, good job for your second place, Jason. Thank you, sponsors, or the people that got you here.
Obviously Russ and Matt from Nitro Racing, who the part of the team that I'm at, that basically give me all the coaching and the setups as well that we do on a weekly basis. Obviously you guys for the broadcast, and Andy and Tom for putting the lead together. I'd like to thank those two guys as well.
Thank you very much. Good job. Good race. You were able to really strategize your race, stay at the end, stay at the back of the pack, dodge the dramas, coming to the pit lane, came out in front and came out second. So pretty good race here tonight, gaining 3 from where you started 2. So you did a good job. But congratulations on your second, and looking forward to see you in next round at Talladega.
Well, thank you. Thanks, guys.
Well, Ryan, I'm going to say it first. Fucking Sim Boys, P1!
Yeah, hey Chris, good job for your first position here. You did get the little bit of a bump from Dave Douglas that did help you out. But how good does it feel being a winner here for Season 3 of Trucks?
Yeah, no, it feels really good. It's been a struggle the last 6 months getting anywhere, and to actually get a win, it's unbelievable, to be honest.
Yeah, and you did a good job too. You were there at the end, and I'd say that you did a pretty trucking awesome job. So just throw a bit of that there. But how do you think your race went? You did start well towards the front. You started 4th, so you're able to gain 3, get up to first at the end. But how do you think your race went working with your teammates? I know that some of your team was knocked out early in the race. So how did you kind of go about the final stages of the race, not having your teammates?
It wasn't too bad. Like, the guys who were racing were all running pretty clean. I was lucky to avoid that first lap wreck that took out Noddy and a few of the others. It was just about trying to hold that clean car and see where I was with about 10 laps to go.
Yeah, and being there at the end was pretty important too. What kind of, I usually say strategy, but what were you kind of anticipating for during the race? Were you trying to like Jason just before said that he stayed towards the back end before moving up to the front? Did you come into did you have any strategy or process that you're thinking about doing for this one?
Yeah, on the super speedways, as long as you can stay towards the back but still be in the draft, you're pretty comfortable. I was just one position in front of Jason basically the whole race, so it was nice to end that way as well.
Yeah, and finishing in the prime position is something that you guys would be happy for. In a team perspective, how do you think that race went? They did get caught up pretty earlier on, but did they help spot you towards the end of the race to help you out, or how did the team kind of progress through the race and deal with the incidents tonight?
No, there wasn't too much spotting going on. Both Gaz and Toddy came back out just to circulate. During the race, we just have a bit of a fun time, bit of a chat, and just keep it pretty relaxed.
Having a nice chat, taking the win, and done a good job. But going into Talladega, what do you think you guys are going to do? Sim Boys usually pretty strong for super speedways. Also in the Australasian Supercar E-Series, I also mentioned them too. You guys work together really well in the super speedways too. How do you think you guys are going to take on Talladega?
Hopefully a couple of the other boys can race next Tuesday. We're, nearly 5 members down tonight, so it'd be nice to have a full contingent next Tuesday, because once we do have a full team, we do go pretty well when we're on a super speedway.
Yeah, and it'll be a good one to watch. Hopefully you can have the remaining 5 drivers jump in and have an awesome go at Talladega in the NASCAR trucks for Season 3. But I'll throw over to Paul, and we'll wrap the broadcast up very shortly.
Hey Chris, been a while between drinks and a chat, so good to see you up on the podium tonight and get the W. I thought you might have been left out. You'd done a little bit of a cheeky move there on Dave Douglas. There, you sort of left him out up high on that outside line and tucked back in to get the draft around and on the inside and get that P3 back when you sort of gave that up to Dave after those pit stop runs and sort of got that back. And I thought Dave might have done the same to you, but it looked like he sort of sat in there and he gave you a hand for that win.
Yeah, definitely a massive shout out to Dave. I think he had a slightly damaged car, but it was good to be a pushing car, which was really nice. I actually made a mistake when I let him through earlier. The back end got a little bit loose and he snuck up the inside, and I thought I'll just stick on here. And once he went to the outside and wasn't making any ground, I dropped to the inside.
Yeah, so yeah, obviously that damage, if he had a little bit of damage there, was a bit harder to obviously push him along. So yeah, he managed to get around him and nice moves there, and yeah, worked well for Dave to push you to the win.
Yeah, that's it, and that definitely helped that Daiso and Jace kind of separated there, and like Dyson didn't stay behind him and wasn't pushing, so having a car behind just got me over the line.
And Daiso did quite a bit of pushing there, so through the race. So yeah, I think he might have just wanted to try and sneak through and get a bit of side run and try and take the win as well. But you know, a good job overall, and yeah, he had a bit of a clean race as well and stayed out of trouble and brought the chockies home.
Yeah, thanks very much for that, Paul.
No worries. And yeah, anyone you want to shout out to?
Shout out to the Sim Boys, obviously. Good group of guys, always up in the shed on a Friday night having a few beers, which is awesome after a long week. United Electrical Solutions, Hot Toddy's Heating Installs, Ferris Shifters, Dave, the Bandit, and shout out to Luke Trahere as well.
Yeah, and good job, mate. Coming out for the win, and the prime position, and even you were a bit surprised with that one. We were a bit surprised too, and Dave Douglas pushing you just a little bit at the end there helped you out. But hope you guys, the Sim Boys, get on the beers here. Get on the beers later on this week and celebrate your win. And good job, mate. And looking forward to see you guys at Talladega.
Yeah, thanks, guys. And also a big shout out to Tom and Andy putting on the league. You guys in the commentary and the video side of things. It's awesome.
Thanks, mate. We really appreciate it. And from the admin side of Skypoynt, we appreciate it very much. But that brings us towards the end of the broadcast here. Paul, pretty good race. We had Foreman a couple of cautions, a few cars out. I'll just say just a few, maybe one or two cars out. But yeah, how do you think the race went?
Yeah, probably as expected. I probably thought that a handful of cautions tonight. Atlanta, especially on this the new layout. So not sure how many drivers out there would have run the new track. I'm not sure. I missed the last round we run here, so not sure if it was this layout or the old one. You could probably answer that one for me. But yeah, so good to see some different names up on the podiums as well. And yeah, hopefully there'll be a few drivers out there tonight that'll definitely want to have a better run at Talladega next week.
Yeah, that's right, and we are looking forward to that. But before we wrap this up, I'll just give a quick shout out to our league sponsor, naming rights sponsor, and the league sponsor, Skypoynt, Australia's only dedicated digital agency for conveyances, and they offer a range of services and tools to provide conveyances with reliable and effective marketing strategies and that kind of stuff. So if you want to get yourself on board with that, skypoint.com is there to help you out, and good old Tom will be able to help you out. A couple of rounds ago, we had Hot Toddy's heating installed, so they deserve a good shout out too. Sponsoring the winning car here tonight for with Christopher Finlay, and they supply and install wood heaters and air transfer kits, and they are fully insured with certification. So Toddy will be able to help you out. But so far, tonight, Paul, we've had a good race, few cautions, and we've had quite a lot of action. Our top three here tonight is Christopher Finlay taking out the win, Jason Holsworth, Andrew Dyson. That is your top three, and this has been the second race for the fifth race for the Triple Crown. We're at Atlanta for the second time, and we're heading over for Talladega next round. We'll see you guys very shortly next Tuesday around 7:30, and we'll be there for Talladega. It should be a good one with a bunch of new faces, or a couple new cars from the Sim Boys and that kind of thing. But we are looking forward to see you guys at Talladega, and we'll catch you guys next Tuesday around 7:30, and for a good night here at Skypoynt. And from myself and Paul, we'll catch you later.